So here I am teaching you guys the basics of lamb karahi, known as lamb curry as well, and I'm going to show you step by step how we're going to do it and make it. Firstly is the oil, vegetable oil or sunflower oil. The main thing is the lamb shoulder. It's a fresh lamb shoulder, 1.5 kg, and with a little bit of fat content so that it adds a more flavor to it. You need to cut them like in small pieces. It shouldn't be quite big chunks. It has to be mini chunks so that's easier to grab and eat with your roti or rice. And the masala actually incorporates well with it. It makes the base of the curry gravy. We'll need around 2 to 3 medium-sized onions, sliced and chopped or anything, a handful of green chilies, whole green chilies, and 4 tomatoes, and 3 to 4 tablespoons of yogurt, fresh yogurt and Greek yogurt. You just have to add a little bit of water, whisk it to make it a nice easy base. Ginger garlic paste, the most integral part of anything you cook. I've actually chopped and grated and then blended both of them together, so it's easier for me. We can just make a jar and it lasts us for like a month or so. So this is the easier way of doing it. Dry spices now. It's 2.5 teaspoons of salt, because the meat is more, so we need a more quantity of salt. It adds more flavor. 2 teaspoons heaped, or maybe less, it depends on your spice level, red chili powder. These are the coriander, not the cumin, and turmeric and a bit of black pepper powder. And this is the base. We can start off now. We will be using lemon in the end just for the garnishing, and some coriander. I'll take you step by step with me. Let's just start with the food now. 2 to 3 tablespoons of big spoons of oil. Add everything on top. Three tablespoons of ginger and garlic. Without this, 4 of these, and a bit of the spices. A little bit of water. So we've added around 1 glass of water, 1.5 glass of water, because it needs to be cooked for like around 25 minutes or 30 minutes. And I'll tell you rest what are we going to do step by step later. But it needs time to cook and get soft. The meat needs to get tender now. So it's in that stage where we're going to leave. After 25 minutes, the meat looks very tender. It's slightly getting off the bone. So it's time to reduce the water and start frying it in its own oil. The oil which we have added is coming on the surface now, and the water will dry out. We're going to increase the heat. Now the water has started evaporating and it's going to dry. The oil is coming on the surface, and that's where it's going to make the gravy thicker and tasty. The color is changing. It's going to change a bit darker. The more darker, the more well cooked it is. Point after 5 minutes, we're going to add yogurt to make it more thicker and creamier, and also it's a natural tenderizer as well. The fire is high now, medium to high. We're going to whip some yogurt, 2 to 3 tablespoons, and add it in the meat. It's going to act as a tenderizer, and also it's gonna make the gravy creamier and thicker with tomatoes. The water is reduced, but we need to reduce it more for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then it's ready to serve. Boonify it. The word is boonify, and there's no English term for boonify, but that means when the oil separates and the tomato becomes a paste, and you just use the word boon. So we're gonna boonify it. No, there is no word in industry. It's boonify. That's the English version. And getting closer to the finishing point. The oil has risen up and the gravy is mixing and the water is evaporating now. You can see the color is changing. So it's time to check now further. Okay, after 15 minutes, and you can see the oil is separating from the yogurt and the gravy after cooking for like 30 minutes, and the color is getting darker and it's giving a nice appetizing look. You can't feel, so main thing is, if you see the difference, you cannot tell the onions are there, the garlic and ginger is there, the tomatoes are dissolved completely, and you just cannot feel that it has been, we've been adding a lot of stuff inside. You can see the color of the oil, the dark brown oil, yellowish, is coming up. It's floating on top and is rising to the surface. You just need to wait more. As it dries, the water dries off and the more evaporates and the more oil comes off. So we're gonna cut the ginger in julienne cut, long slices, because this adds flavor in the end, and the food has to be very presentable. So chop them, slice them, present well with some lemon slices and some green chilies, coriander. This is all part of presentation and the taste in the end. We also need some fresh coriander, freshly chopped coriander for our garnishing. It has to be finely chopped so that it looks nice. So we're just checking on our meat now, and it is completely tender. If you can see, it's just getting off the bone and slipping off the bone, and the oil has risen up, and the gravy is very creamy and rich with full of flavors of green chilies and our ingredients. So we're going to make freshly cooked chapatis or rotis, and that's the wholemeal flour atta. It's very easily available everywhere on any Asian shops.
How many spoons have you put in?
It's around 5 spoons, big spoons, and I can show you the spoon size. And this will serve around, it will make around 5 to 6 rotis, chapatis, and let's just go take them step by step. And we're gonna add a little bit of salt because it gives a bit of texture and taste to your bread.
How much salt?
Honestly, it's half teaspoon, just to add a bit of taste, and the roti will not taste bland. So I'm using this kneading gadget for the atta. Normally people make it with hands, but I have found with time this is as the most useful and the most quickest one things. So we're gonna start off with it. I hope it's properly, and we will add, so there is no balance for how much water we're going to use. It's roughly a cup or a glass, but we just have to check the consistency as we pour it. Let me just start off. So the salt is mixing now. It's going to start crumbling. And it's forming a dough now. Let me check if we need a bit of water, because it's a perfect consistency, but we need a little bit of water so that it's slightly soft. Water has to be room temperature, and I think the 1 glass was enough, and a little bit more to add extra softness. And it's ready. I'll just use the pulse mode. That's it. Literally 2 drops. Okay, it's ready now. Let it rest for 2 minutes, and we will knead it once more for 30 seconds, and it's ready. See the consistency and check if it's how soft it is, and it's nice soft, and there is no such crumbles left. It's together, and it's time to take it out and rest it for 15 minutes before we make nice chapatis or rotis. It's not a chopper.
Can you see it?
Yeah, that's the gadget. We needs it. It's not a chopper. It doesn't have blades. Just forming a dough and putting it to rest. We use it for cooking. So now we're going to prepare rotis with the dough we have prepared earlier. And this is the tawa, a flat pan which evenly spreads the heat and makes the roti fluff and easier and very soft to eat with the lamb we've made. Let's start making it. We need some dry flour, just to do some dry hands. Take a bit of small portion and use some dry flour so it doesn't stick your hands and it's easier to make and roll. You can see step by step the dry flour and start rolling it. We need to be very careful. Start rolling it softly in a circular movements. It's moving around and that's how it's taking its shape. Again, put it in the flour, push it here and keep rolling it slowly in the circular motion and flatten it up until the required thickness of the roti is there. It has to be thin. So we're going to turn off the heat now. The oil is separated, the food is ready. We don't want to let it cook more because it will start burning and the taste is going to change. So we have to stop the cooking now and add our fresh coriander, green chilies and garnishing with fresh ginger. These three things with a slice of lemon on it, and turn the heat off and let it set for 5 minutes before we serve. Fresh roti. Goes onto it. Let it rest and change its color. Slightly light beige brown. The one we made the dough with, it's the same flour we're using it. It's time to flip now, the color is changing. This one roti serves only one person and one person can eat up to 2 to 3 rotis with lamb karahi. Once you see the bubbles forming on top of it, like pancakes, keep spinning the chapati so that it's evenly cooked and the gas inside forms and it cooks itself. The air inside. Butter, homemade butter. You can add fresh homemade butter and ghee to turn it as a paratha. Yeah, it's like a buttered naan and a buttered roti, and we just fold it over so that the ghee doesn't come out. Fresh coriander, green chilies goes on top. A bit of garam masala, freshly grounded for some taste. And here we go. Lamb karahi is ready. Thank you so much for watching, and please drop a like and a share. And also, if you guys want to have some new recipes, please let me know in the comment section, and please do subscribe my channel. Thank you.